Wi-Fi's hidden knowledge? Wake 10,000 years past. No cities, roads, or tech. Utter void. A rock in hand build Wi-Fi? Absurd. Wilderness looms. Wi-Fi lost. Not yet, because Wi-Fi isn't a single invention. It's the final result of thousands of years of human progress. And before you can create it, there is a more urgent problem. You need to survive. You can invent technology if you're starving to death. Every day becomes a battle. You use your rock to shape primitive tools. You hunt animals. You gather fruits and roots. You search for clean water. You build crude shelters to protect yourself from rain and predators. You make mistakes constantly. You eat the wrong plants. You injure yourself. You lose valuable resources. Nature doesn't care how much knowledge you possess. It only rewards those who adapt. Slowly, however, your skills improve. You learn patterns. You discover which animals are dangerous and which can be hunted. You identify edible plants and reliable water sources. But another problem soon becomes obvious. Survival consumes all your time. Every waking hour is spent finding food, gathering wood, repairing shelter, or protecting yourself. There is no time left for invention. Then you remember something important about human history. Civilizations only advanced when people produced more food than they needed. A surplus created free time, and free time created innovation. So you decide to become a farmer. You clear land. You plant seeds. You experiment with irrigation. You domesticate animals. At first, the harvests are poor. Some crops fail completely. Others are destroyed by weather. But over time, you improve. Year after year, your food production increases. Eventually, you produce more food than you can eat. For the first time in your journey, you are no longer spending every moment trying to survive. You finally have time to think. And thinking changes everything. While exploring nearby hills, you discover unusual rocks. Some are green, some are reddish. Others shine in sunlight. Most people would ignore them, but you recognize them as metal ores. The problem is that metal is trapped inside stone. You need a way to extract it. So you begin experimenting with fire. You build simple furnaces. You burn wood. Then charcoal. You increase temperatures little by little. Many attempts fail. Weeks become months. Months become years. Then one day, something extraordinary happens. Inside the furnace, the rock begins to melt. Liquid metal appears. For the first time, you have created something that does not naturally exist in its usable form. You pour it into molds. You shape it into tools. You discover copper. Later, bronze. Eventually, iron. Everything changes. Axes cut faster. Plows dig deeper. Weapons become stronger. Buildings become larger. Humanity leaves the Stone Age behind. Yet despite all this progress, Wi-Fi remains unimaginably distant. Because technology requires more than tools. It requires understanding. You need mathematics. You begin teaching people how to count. Numbers become systems. Systems become arithmetic. Arithmetic becomes geometry. You learn how to calculate distances, angles, areas, and volumes. Construction improves. Agriculture improves. Engineering improves. Suddenly, problems that once seemed impossible become solvable. But mathematics alone isn't enough. Knowledge must survive beyond a single lifetime. If every generation starts from zero, progress becomes painfully slow. So you create writing. Simple symbols evolve into language. Language evolves into records. Records become libraries. For the first time, discoveries can be preserved. A farmer can learn from someone who died centuries earlier. An inventor can build upon ideas they never personally witnessed. Knowledge becomes immortal. And once knowledge becomes immortal, progress accelerates. You begin studying nature itself. You observe falling objects. You watch rivers flow. You examine the movement of the stars. Questions lead to experiments. Experiments lead to discoveries. You uncover the principles of motion. You understand force. You understand energy. You understand mechanics. The universe slowly begins revealing its secrets. Then comes one of the most important discoveries of all, electricity. At first, it appears as a mystery. You see lightning during storms. You feel static shocks. You observe strange effects involving magnets. For years, these phenomena seem unrelated. But curiosity drives you forward. You experiment relentlessly. Eventually, patterns emerge. You realize that electricity and magnetism are deeply connected. This revelation changes history forever. Now your goal becomes generating electricity whenever you want. Not just during storms. Not just through static sparks. Every day. On demand. To accomplish this, you build engines. Steam becomes your first major source of power. Boiling water drives machinery. Machinery drives generators. Generators create electricity. For the first time, electrical energy can be produced continuously. You construct wires to transport it. Cities can now be illuminated. Machines can operate automatically. Entire industries emerge. The world transforms. But then another challenge appears. How can information travel? Electricity can carry power. Can it carry messages too? You begin experimenting. By sending electrical pulses through wires, you create communication systems. Eventually, the telegraph is born. Messages that once required days or weeks now travel almost instantly. The world becomes connected, yet wires remain everywhere. Every communication depends on physical connections. Then one day, while testing electrical equipment, something unusual happens. A metal object across the room reacts whenever your circuit activates. There's no wire, no physical connection. Nothing should happen. Yet it does. Again and again. You repeat the experiment. The effect remains. You move the object farther away. Still works. You place barriers between them. Still works. Finally, you understand. Electricity can create invisible waves. Those waves move through air, through walls, through entire landscapes. You've discovered radio waves. This changes everything. For the first time, communication no longer requires wires. Information can travel freely through space. Radio stations appear, wireless communication spreads, ships communicate across oceans, people connect across continents. But Wi-Fi still doesn't exist. Because wireless communication alone is not enough. You need computers, and computers require one of the most sophisticated manufacturing systems ever created. You begin with silicon, a material found in common sand. However, ordinary silicon is useless for advanced electronics. It must be purified to extraordinary levels. The process demands chemical engineering, precision manufacturing, and industrial infrastructure. Factories grow larger. Supply chains become global. Scientific knowledge expands dramatically. Finally, purified silicon becomes available. From it, you create transistors, tiny electronic switches capable of controlling electricity. One transistor is useful. 1,000 are powerful. 1,000,000 are revolutionary. Billions become modern computing. Processors emerge. Memory systems emerge. Operating systems emerge. Software emerges. Computers begin solving problems at incredible speeds. Then you connect those computers together. The first networks are born. Information flows between machines. Networks expand across cities, then countries, then continents. Routers are developed to manage traffic. Protocols are created so devices can understand one another. The foundation of the internet appears. Now everything is finally ready. Electricity, radio waves, computers, networking, advanced electronics, software, communication protocols. All the pieces are in place. You combine them into a single system. A device capable of transmitting digital information wirelessly between computers. Wi-Fi. After thousands of years of effort, the mission is complete. Most people see Wi-Fi as a simple convenience. A signal icon in the corner of a screen. Something that becomes annoying when it disconnects. But Wi-Fi is much more than that. It represents agriculture, metallurgy, mathematics, writing, physics, chemistry, electricity, radio, computing, engineering, and networking. It is the combined achievement of countless generations of human curiosity. Every scientific breakthrough, every invention, every discovery, every failure, every success, all stacked together like stones in a giant tower reaching toward the future. And at the very top of that tower sits a tiny wireless signal connecting billions of people around the world. So if you ever think Wi-Fi is ordinary, remember this. If you were sent back 10,000 years with nothing but a rock and the knowledge in your head, creating Wi-Fi wouldn't be a single invention. It would mean rebuilding civilization itself.